today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be interviewing a young lady, a 19-year-old girl. She's actually my niece. I thought I'd do an interview. We haven't done one for quite a while. And if you go onto my playlist here on my channel, my playlist is called Come Testify, and that's where you'll be able to view this particular interview as well as all other interviews. So like I said, I'll be interviewing a young lady. She's going to be talking about her life testimony and what God has done for her. I'll let her tell you where she is. So it's exciting. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, and we finally managed to pull it off after a few months of arranging. So with no further ado, let's go ahead. Welcome, Shani. It's great to have you join me today, finally, after all our efforts. So, Shani, we just want to start off by you telling us who is Shani Matondo. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, your background, and just basically tell us about your life until this point in time, and tell us as well where you are.
Oh my goodness, yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Tsungi, for having me. It's been a long time coming, but here we are finally getting this interview done. I'm so excited to share my story with your subscribers and whoever else views your channel. So to answer your first question, who is Shani? Where am I? I would say today I'm coming to you as a 20-year-old published author. I published my first book at 19, wrote it at 18, but here today I'm sitting as a 20-year-old. I am currently studying digital marketing with a minor in public relations and advertising at Oral Roberts University in Oklahoma. If you had asked me who is Shani a few years ago, I definitely would have said I'm an only child. That would have been the first thing to come out of my mouth, because that's how I used to identify myself. But today I can come and tell you that Shani is an ambitious, independent, God-fearing young lady. I really live my life holding on to my faith in God, because throughout the past 2 years, I would say he has done so much for me that I can't imagine where I would have been today without God and without the faith that I had, or have, I should say, in him. It's been a journey, but I am proud to be sitting here today as the Shani I am. I do find my happiness in bringing happiness to other people. I love to see others happy. I know I can't do much, but the little that I can do to see a smile on someone else's face, that brings me joy. And yeah, that is who I am coming to you as today.
Wow, Shani, I really, really love the way that you defined yourself there right at the beginning, where you say you're a 19-year-old published author with very big dreams and with faith in God, and who finds her happiness in making other people happy. That is really powerful. Now, Shani, I've known you since you were young, since you were from day one when you were born. And like anybody else, I'm sure throughout your life you've had your ups and downs. Like, I want to find out, through it all, what's your life testimony? What has God actually done for you? What has he done for you? What could you say is your life testimony? We will touch on your book a little bit later on, but I want to touch on this first of all. What is your life testimony?
Yes, you are so right. We all go through rough patches. We all go through the ups. We go through the downs. It's not smooth sailing all the time. But I really do want to thank God for getting me to where I am today. Me being here at ORU is a testimony in itself. But to answer your question about my life testimony, I would bring up two things: my parents and my education. I really do thank God for blessing me with such amazing parents who are still there to go the extra mile for me, just so that I can live a great life, a life better than what they lived. I really do appreciate that. Then my education, God has definitely opened so many doors. I have become more ambitious, more daring, I would say, because I've seen what faith can do. Having faith in God can do so much. So I would say with my education, God has seen me through all the way from creche all the way to where I am now in university. I definitely would never have imagined me being in America for university. But here I am because of God.
Well, Shani, your parents definitely seem to have played a huge role in your life, and I'm sure you're eternally grateful for that and for how they facilitated you getting the best education all round, from when you were young right up to now. Now, Shani, let's talk about your book, Secrets to a Meaningful Life. Can you tell us about your writing journey so that, maybe other people can be encouraged and maybe other people want to know how to go about it who also want to write a book? What made you decide to write a book? What gave you the idea? And then what was your writing journey like? What kind of challenges did you have to overcome? Which kind of people did you need to assist you? Just basically all aspects right until now, when you were able to then publish your book and to actually hold it in your hands. What was it like? We'd love for you to give us some insight into that.
Okay, perfect. So onto the process of how I ended up writing the book. To start off with, this was during lockdown, I had been filming videos and uploading them to my IGTV on Instagram, talking about different characters from the Bible, talking about their life stories, and then kind of relating them to our lives today, how we can take the lessons they went through and apply them in our daily lives today. And I came to a realization that I wasn't saying everything that I wanted to say in the videos because I was wanting to keep them short and sweet. I wasn't wanting to have the videos too long that I would end up boring my audience. So the one day I remember sitting in the car with my dad driving somewhere, and I said, I'm gonna write a book. And from there, the words were just flowing. I went onto YouTube, did a bit of research on how people got to writing books, and then I came across this one girl who challenged herself to write 30,000 words in the month of November. So I said, okay, I am going to put myself up for that challenge, right? But some days were easier than others. I would find myself writing more than 1,000 words in a day, and then other days I wouldn't even reach 2,000. So I got writing. At this point, there was no order. I was just writing whatever was coming to mind in a Google Doc. And then I got a notebook where I then ended up splitting up the chapters and writing the important points that I wouldn't want to forget when it came to typing everything out in the Google Doc. And then obviously, because I didn't know everything as well as I wanted to about the 5 different characters from the Bible that I was writing about in my book, I read the stories in the Bible again. I watched sermons about them. I went through church notes. I listened to podcasts, and everything was just coming together slowly but surely. And I was really just enjoying it. I remember asking a few of my friends what their favorite character from the Bible, who their favorite character from the Bible was, because I was stuck on the 5th character I wanted to write about. And then from those results, I managed to pick my 5th character. And then chapter 6, it's just my parting words, everything I still wanted to say but wasn't directly connected to one of the 5 characters that I talked about in the book, I put in chapter 6, because on my IGTV I'd also started a series called Motivational Mondays. So I kind of wrote stuff from my Motivational Mondays videos in chapter 6 just to encourage people some more. And yeah, that's how the writing process went. I then talked to my mom about getting a publisher, and then printing the books. So she connected me with a few people. I was sending out the messages. She made sure that I came up with a spreadsheet to like create a budget with the different publishers and the different printing companies. And then from there, I was able to choose what matched my budget. I started off with the 50 copies on my birthday, and before 6 p.m. on my birthday, all 50 were sold. I managed to deliver quite a few, and then the rest were like picked up, or I delivered like the rest throughout the rest of that week. But I was shook. So the day that I got the 50, at the end of that day, I was already sending another email, placing another order for another 50. And it was crazy. It was crazy, but I really loved it. I really loved the process.
Well, kudos to you, Shani. A job well done, well done. And it just goes to show to all of those who are listening, this is an encouragement, especially to young people. You know, it's never too late, and you can actually write a book or do whatever it is you set your mind to. Even for older people, it's never too late. So well done. Now, I just want to say, Shani, I read your book. And actually, that's why what took long as well. I wanted to make sure I finished reading your book before we have this discussion or chat. And I found it to be very rich and relatable. And it was really a fantastic piece of work, in my view. So well done once again. Now, what I'd like to ask you is, in your book, you talked about 5 characters. You talked about Joseph, you talked about Esther, about David, Hannah, and Job. Now, I've got a question, or maybe 2 questions, depending on whether it's the same character. Firstly, which one was your favorite character of the ones that you talked about in your book? And then secondly, which character do you most relate to? Which one can you say you relate to the most in your life? It might be the same character, but it might not be. So that's what I'd like to find out from you.
Yes, those are amazing questions. My 2 characters, the 2 answers for those questions are actually different people. The character out of the 5 that I related to the most would be Joseph, because he was in the prison. Obviously, I explain all of this in the book, but I have seen myself in different prisons throughout my life. But now, as I've been walking closer to God, as I've been focusing more in church, and as I've been learning more about the Bible, I see that God is clearing the path. He's paving the way for me to the palace. So I would say I really do relate to Joseph a lot more than I do to the other 4 characters. But my personal favorite out of the 5 would have to be Esther. She is a queen, literally a queen. She went from 0 to 100, not only because of the favor that she had with God, but the favor that she had with man as well. And I feel like we go about our daily lives just thinking that the favor with God is what we need, but we actually need favor with man as well, because God uses man to bless us. So as much as we love to have favor with God, we need the favor with man as well. We can't just shut out people, because God uses people. So we have to be open to being helped by the people of God. And sometimes it could be people that aren't following God necessarily, but God uses people. That's what I'm trying to say. And I just loved how Esther went about her life. She didn't just, once she got to the top, she wasn't just thinking about herself. She still thought about her people. She never let her title get to her head. So I really do think that Esther is someone that I want to grow up to be like. So yeah, those are the 2 people to answer your question about who I relate to and who I liked most out of the 5.
Esther and Joseph. Okay. And you know, those 2 are some of the most impactful and, you know, really rich in terms of lessons we learn, people in the Word of God. And definitely they were history makers. And I have no doubt, you know, Shani, that you too will leave your mark in this life, in this world. For me, after going through your book, I'd have to say that my favorite character out of those 5 is David, King David. And then the one that I relate to the most is actually Hannah. Yeah, so it gave me something to think about. Thank you for that. So I think what's left for me is to say thank you, Shani, for opening your heart, sharing your life with us, talking about your book, and for inspiring so many people out there and encouraging them, including myself. Thank you for making the time, because I know you must be busy, with your studies and other things. But thank you so much, and I wish you the best with your studies there in the States at Oral Roberts University, and with anything else that you're planning for the future. All the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tsungi, for having me today. I really enjoyed it. I'm so happy that we finally got to get this done, and I hope that my story does inspire as many people as it can. I do hope to be invited again onto this channel, as I do have so many more big plans that I would like to achieve in the upcoming years. So thank you again for having me, and thank you everyone for watching.
So that's it from me today, and I'll just encourage you, please do try and get hold of a copy of Shani's book. Here it is once again. And don't be stingy, get more than one copy so that you can also bless somebody. I'm going to be putting her social media handles and her contact details at the end of this video so that you can get hold of her. So I hope you were encouraged and inspired, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.